Hey everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Listen to Keith Harkin podcast. Today on the show I've got an old friend of mine, Cheryl Doherty, who's an amazing musician, singer-songwriter, band member of the band New Pagans, and guitar tech for the one and only Frank Turner. Enjoy the show. We're only having a laugh. Some of this you'll like and some of it you won't like. Love you all, and shout out to the Harkin Army especially. Episode 1. I'm joined by the one and only Cheryl Doherty from Derry City, who's in the band New Pagans, guitar tech for Frank Turner, and main frontman for the old good band Fighting with Wire.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning. You ever watch Hello Hello back in the day?
I'm too young for that. You're showing your age.
Hi. Fucking hilarious.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Is it a magazine? Hello?
No. So it was called Hello Hello, and it was set in wartime, World War II in France, and it was basically the French Resistance. But there was like a British policeman who had a really bad French accent, and he was
it rings a bell now. Yeah. Hello.
I used to say things like "Good morning," you know what I mean?
If you're having a glass of wine, I should sip a whiskey. How's that sound? I was drinking tea and I was eating biscuits. I was eating biscuits. And just for anybody who's listening to this podcast right now, neither of us know what we're doing. We're really good at talking crap, as Cahir just showed you on his behalf.
Keith's big crumbly dial there with a big crumbly biscuit.
I was eating biscuits. Hopefully I've got the biscuits cleared out of my mouth now and you don't hear me picking them out of my teeth, boys. Also, there's going to be things in this podcast that you hear us two saying that will probably need subtitles, but we aren't getting paid enough to put subtitles into this podcast, so you're just going to have to work her out and take your oil, boys. Yeah!
Take your fucking oil, you Jesus.
I am going to have a wee apple of whiskey with me tea. And then we have to cheers to something. I don't know. Here's the cheers to surviving the zombie apocalypse. I'll drink that all day, any day.
Up a treats.
Up a Maz. It's Mother's Day.
That's what we should be cheering to.
Up
cheersing to. Cheersing. up the Maz. I won that one. I won the mums.
Up Lindsay's. Up Kelsey, our beautiful wives who look after the kids, including ourselves. So, Cahir, you were on tour like myself up until a few days ago, and everybody got dragged. It was like a draft, only the opposite. We were all sent home.
Aye, same here.
It's a nightmare for a lot of musicians. For myself, I had to cancel 16 something. I didn't even count them. It's about 16 shows on a tour that was the whole East Coast of America. Also now, actually, I've been watching other artists talking about cancelling their tours for May, June, July already, which is really scary. It's a really scary thought for me and for everybody else who goes on tour, like yourself, either a technician or a sound guy or a musician.
Yeah.
There is no sort of foreseeable future for touring bands by the way things are standing right now.
Well, I think that it's going to be damaged anyway. It's completely fucked. So even if in a month's time, if they said everything's coming back, it would take so long to just fucking like think about it like this: you stop something completely, right, and then everyone's going to reschedule so as soon as you're allowed to play again, you're just going to get a sea of bands touring and fucking trying to, plug their fucking shit. It's just going to be, it's the complete ruination of the music industry as we know it. I mean, there's pros and cons in that. And, on the one hand, yes, everyone's going to have to suck eggs for a while. And on the other hand, it's like perhaps the people in, positions like Spotify who underpay musicians terribly and, everybody's always got their hand out. The musician's the last person to get paid, as you well know. But maybe this will actually make them realize that they haven't got fucking anything unless they've got good bands and good musicians out touring and promoting and working and writing, and you know what I mean. It's like, especially now in this day and age where music is just so readily available for free all the time, everywhere.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you say that, because I've been watching a lot of the venues. Not think about it in this manner too. You have to understand the knock-on effect for people not going on tour is that all the small venues that you love going to watch music in all your towns, if you're listening anywhere across the world, your venues right now are really getting it tight. Venues at the best of time don't make a whole lot of money. They get the smallest percentage. The majority of the time, they get the tiniest cut of the night. So on top of every band trying to go on tour in September or October, that's the date everybody's saying, but who knows? It could be September, October 2021. God forbid.
December, I reckon.
There mightn't be half the venues for every band going out. So it's going to be near impossible for every band to hit the road at the same time. It's like saturating the market.
I reckon, like I said, we're fucked. I mean, it's gonna take years before we return to some kind of normal state. And not that the industry is ever normal, you know what I mean? It's always demented. But it's a real kick in the balls, really. Like, especially for people like myself, who my main source of income is working as Frank Turner's guitar tech, essentially. So that is all put on hold, and Frank is very he tours a lot. He's always on the road, so I always have plenty of work. But now with this, I mean, it's like he just did like a fundraiser show for his crew, his tour family, which was an amazing gesture. He and raised about 40 grand for his tour family. There's 11 of us all in, so it's just over 3 grand each. For just to help with bills and stuff, because
that's amazing.
It really is amazing. It's a great thing he did, and it's just, I wish sort of the industry, more people in the industry were like that. You know what I mean, towards their crew and the people who look after them, essentially. I don't think it's people in the industry. I feel like musicians, more than any record company or any agent or any manager, the musicians are the people who are on the tours, on the road with their crew, with their lighting people, with their sound guys. They're living with them together, snorkel that big glass of wine. They're living with them, so they're kind of like family, if you know what I mean. Well, I might as well drink the rest of this now. Oh, dear loving Jesus, that's great there, but oh, it's fruity on the tongue.
I think that a lot of musicians seem to be doing more and more for the. Seen another band. There's these sisters called Lark and Poe. I don't know if you ever heard of them. I just found them on Instagram, and they're awesome. They're like a rock and roll harmonies, electric guitar, slide guitar. And they're doing a show actually today on stage, I think, for their crew as well. But I think it's shameful that a lot of the record companies now, you won't hear peep from the record companies, you won't hear peep from a lot of the agents. They're not going to give anything back to any of these artists. Oh. But here, on top of that again though, it's kind of sad too that, I don't think there's a lot of amazing fans out there. I have a lot of amazing fans. Your band has a lot of amazing fans. We'll get back to Frank. Frank's a top dude, and he is like a killer diehard fans as well.
Brilliant.
But like a lot of people are like saying to me, "Why aren't your shows free?" We're doing these online shows now, and it's the only thing touring musicians can do. I don't even want to put a number on what I lost before I came back last week. It's tens of thousands, and it's not money that I spent that before I left for tour. And a lot of people are asking me now, they're saying, why aren't you doing your online shows for free? Why aren't you doing this for free? And it's kind of sad that music has got to the state now where people expect every part of music for free. It's the strangest thing. So people are literally, I understand there's lots of people out there right now who are hurting. Obviously, we all are. You're not at work. I'm not at work. That's why we're sitting doing this podcast, trying to work out. We're not going to charge anybody to listen to this, but we're going to put it out there. Tenner a minute.
Get the money.
But you know what I mean? Like it's just to sort of create aware. I want to bring awareness with this podcast and you to the music industry right now and where it's at. People don't pay for music anymore. The only way every musician gets paid nowadays is by going on tour. It's as simple as that. So it's kind of sad when people still don't see that when every musician's at home right now, they're not earning a cent. And even with us doing these online shows, they're like, it should be free. And you're kind of thinking, and obviously that's a minority. That's not the majority of people. The majority of people's like, hey, awesome, we'll support our favorite artists. But there's still people out there that think, your online show should be free. So you should sit there and do a live sound check and contact and advertise for 2 weeks for your show. It's kind of strange.
It really is. I mean, I think, fucking, you can't, as an old Derry saying, you can't take knickers off a bare arse, right?
You can't whistle, we know up.
You can't take knickers off a bare arse. And the fact of the matter is, like bands like my band, You Pagans, for instance, we struggle. We're a new band. So we're like, we don't have a big fan base, but the people that support us are fantastic, and it's growing. But we went out and did a week-long tour in the UK, and it cost us about $7,000 to do it with a single and EP campaign. And we had a PRS actually helped us and gave us a bursary of like $5,000 to help it, but we had to put $2,000 out of our own money on top of that, and then some. You know what I mean? And that was just to go out and play shows. Like, I think we did 7 shows, and try and sort of bring our music out there. And it was so
basically
difficult.
Cost you 1,300, 1,400 quid sterling a show, which is about $1,700.
Easy to go and play to, not a lot of people, shall we say? But the perception of us doing that is where the sort of payoff is, which is insane, because I mean,
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, it doesn't translate in any level, and music is so nuts these days that people are complaining about ticket prices. They're like, oh well, I wouldn't go and see them. I'm not paying 80 quid. I'm not paying 80 quid. I'm not paying 110 quid. I'm like, you're paying that now because all of the music that artist puts out is free. So there is
not
no
only music. I was thinking about it today. You're not only getting music for free. If you follow your favorite artist, you're on their Instagram every day, you're on their Facebook every day. Those artists are putting stuff up there all the time.
Well, it's a constant battle for content, isn't it? It's like you want to pique people's interest, and so people just go so far into their content, Instagrams and whatever. I left Facebook 8 years ago. I quit Twitter there at Christmas, and I've only got Instagram left. I hate the direction. I mean, this is another tangent now this is another fucking thread off this, but I hate exactly. I hate how long they get to be sup of this here first. Look,
I need a drink to listen to this.
This fucking rant here, look.
I have a live show after this. It is now 20 past 8 in the evening. I have a live show at 11 o'clock, so I can only drink about 14 more of these.
Aye, sure, that'll do. You'll be grand.
Instagram.
What was I fucking talking about, Keith?
Instagram,
yeah. So I hate where social media has taken humanity. Because our generation, well, I know I'm a bit older than you, but we're in a very unique position to know, just a wee bit, to know that what it was like before social media, smartphones, the internet, all that shit, and what it's like now. And I have to say, it's a fucking shit show now. Like, I mean, we only thought it was a shit show then, but in the 90s, it's a shit show now. Like, I mean, I had to leave Twitter because my anxiety and blood pressure was through the fucking roof. Dealing with just politics and the way the world, I mean, the lies, fake news, whatever you want to call it, spin doctors, it's people spinning shite. Just nothing's real. No one reads anything. Nobody has any idea what the fuck is going on, yet everyone's a fucking expert. And I mean, I've been guilty of this myself. You know what I mean? It's like, it draws you in, it sucks the fucking life out of you. So I have ditched it all. And Instagram's a I know it's owned by Facebook, and they are the worst. They are evil. I mean, I'm just going to say it. Fuck off, Facebook. I mean,
Facebook right now, they are, for those of you out there who are just on Facebook, you know, when you're just an average Joe, with all due respect, and you don't need to pay for advertisements online, you don't advertise anything online, you just post pictures of your puppy dog and your kids. I wish I could do that. But what Facebook has done now to everybody out there who's got an article or a thing to sell, or a song to sell, or a band to sell tickets, what Facebook has done now is that you're constantly having to buy advertisements in order for you to be seen at any given time.
this fucking
They have
UFO
algorithms.
here, Lan. Here, look at this UFO here, Lan.
That's Mark Zuckerberg.
That's Zuckerberg's fucking life energy in there. Look, I'm going to drink his blood. Body of Christ. Body of Zuckerberg. Fill that glass.
But what Facebook is doing nowadays, basically, if I, for example, post something up on my Facebook saying, hey, I've got a live stage it tonight, please tune in, here's the ticket link. The second that Facebook's algorithm sees, the second that the Facebook sees ticket or for sale or show, it basically buries the advertisement. Look, Cahir didn't drink until Facebook came out. Do you know that? That's a fact. That's a goddamn fact.
Never drunk a drop in my life. Never drunk it. Lindsay's shouting it, right? My wife, who is the lead singer of the band and the mother of my children, is
Lindsay,
shouting at me.
get in here?
No, she's in the other room. She's just doing this. That's my wine, because I brought it into the thing like a big UFO. That's my wine. That's what she's shouting at me. Well, it's Mother's Day wine. She said it's my Mother's Day wine.
He has got a point. I would normally say tough, but it's the one day
Look,
in the year.
There's plenty for it, Lindsay. There's plenty for you now. I tell you now, girl, if you want a wee drink,
Big
morning.
Big Lindsay.
Big Linda. Morning, Big Linda.
Big Linda. Big Linda is the name of my band's old band. Big Linda. Linda was the name of one of the very first porn stars that made it famous, and they named their band after Big Linda. Shout out to Jeff, Pat, Vezio. How
Should
you
I
doing,
look
boys?
up Big Linda now and just see what the crack is?
The porn star or the band?
Porn star.
The porn. I mean,
Big Linda. Hold on. I'm just looking it up here.
some crack Lindsay just pops up.
Big Linda. I see a band. Oh, no. No. Hold on. Big Linda porn. I should probably put that on. Big Linda porn.
Jesus.
Oh, mother of fucking Christ. No.
I don't need to
No.
see that.
I don't need
Glad
to see any of that.
Studio report.
Good. That's
Is
gone.
it good?
No. It's gone.
No. Well,
I
the
could
band.
describe.
Like,
I could describe what I just saw there, but I mean,
don't.
people be
I want as many people to watch this.
horrified.
People to listen and watch this podcast as possible. So you were talking about Frank Turner earlier. How long have you known Frank?
I know Frank about 15, 16 years for my
From
fucking
touring,
sins.
from your original band back in the day.
Yeah, from back in the day. Well, I was in a couple of bands back in the sort of early 2000s. One was Jet Plane Landing, and one was Fighting with Wire. And I met Frank when I was in Jet Plane Landing. We were like a sort of DIY punk rock band. We were based in London, but two of us were from Derry. We're four-piece, and I met Frank. He was in a band called Million Dead, which was like a hardcore punk band. And I met Frank. Funny enough, he used to look exactly like Jesus Christ. He did.
He doesn't anymore.
No, he doesn't anymore. There's a hint. There's a bit of. He's a bit Christy these days, but I mean, not mega Christ. Back then, he was mega Christ. He had the long hair and the beard and the sort of wee gaunt sort of look, skinny. But anyway, moving off Christ. Frank. Yeah, so we met back then, and then when I started Fighting with Wire, I emailed Frank because his band were doing quite well, and I said, "Look, can you take us on tour?" And little did I know his band, it was kind of at the end of they were all breaking up essentially, and he ended up just spending the whole tour in our van, where we really sort of bonded and became best friends. And then his band broke up and he started actually his first ever acoustic show. I believe I booked him for the Small Town America all day. And he said, "Can I come down and play acoustic guitar?" And I think I laughed at him.
Joke's
I
on
said,
you.
"Why?" I think I said, "Joke's on me, totally, 100%." I said, "But why?" And he said, "I want to come down and play Dancing Queen and some Queen covers. Is that cool?" And I said, "Fucking whatever, man. Come on down." And he got up there and he did them. And I think because I was such a bastard, I stood in front of him laughing the whole time. And he just kept going, fuck you. And then, boom. He toured for years relentlessly.
I remember you bringing Frank one time to Masons in Derry, good old Masons, which is now called.
It was a real excuse as well for me and Frank when he came to Derry. It was a real excuse just for me and him to get fucking annihilated. We book a couple of gigs and we just spent like 4 days getting completely fucking destroyed.
Was that back when you lived in Bridge Street?
In what was it called?
Bridge Street on the Foyle Road.
It wasn't called Bridge Street, no. Where's Anthony now?
Was it the house that you and
It was the house me and Anthony owned.
Is that Bridge Street?
I can't remember what it's called. Lindsay will know. I try to block it out of my mind. It's blocked. It's blocked out of my mind.
It's blocked out of a lot of people's mind. My best memory of that house was the night that we were, I don't know what was on, there was some band on or who was playing, and you invited everybody back to the house. Of course, I was part of that madness back then, and everybody went back to the house. And the one time that Anthony didn't want to party, he rocked up to the house with a chick and a bag of coal.
And I was sitting on the stairs and I said, "What the fuck? Anthony brought coal, everybody, yay!" And he was like, "What the fuck's going on? Why he's partying? Well, I told you no partying." I'm like, "You told me no partying. The man that parties every night."
Exactly. You're listening here. This is a friend of ours, Anthony, who also used to be a bass player in a couple of different bands. And
Anthony Wild.
Style.
Anthony Wild, and now he's called Anthony Mild.
Big time. Mild
Curry. And he's mild.
And I remember that night. And for those of you who don't know what a bag of coal is, it's not a bag of drugs. We actually mean bags of coal. That's how far behind in the Stone Age we are living in this town.
People still burn. We just never bought oil to heat the house. So the easiest thing to do is just light a fucking fire, like.
Set fire to the sofa.
But our fire didn't really work, and so all the soot, all the fumes would come out of the fireplace. We'd feel really ill, and all. We'd be like, "Why do I feel ill?" Like blow your nose, it's all black and all. You know what I mean? Animals, like back in our 20s.
It was a great house.
It was a great house. Oh,
great house. Hey. A party the man went on there afterwards. So Frank, how long have you been touring now with Frank now?
Well, what, 8 years? Fighting with Wire broke up about 8 years ago. And after that, I didn't really know what I was going to do in my life. Because we had signed with Atlantic Records and all that, kind of cracked on that whole major label thing. And I was kind of done, with the music industry. Like, fuck this shithole. I didn't know what I was going to do. Frank phoned me up and said, "What are you doing with your life?" or something along those lines. I was like, "I don't know." He said, "Why don't you come out?" And I kind of spilled me, fucking band's over. I can't deal with it anymore. I'm done. I'm fucking this and that. And he said, "Why don't you come out and work with us?" Because his career at this point now, he'd like really cemented a great live career for himself, and he was pushing it forward, and he'd a lot of good things on our. And it was just before he did the Olympics. He opened the Olympic ceremony, which blew him out of the water. It made him sort of like a huge act. And so I think I worked just a week before he did the Olympics. I did my first job with him. And then he asked me to come back and do a tour, and I said yes. So I'd finished the tour with Fighting with Wire, and I jumped onto his tour. And then he offered me the job. He's like, "I know you've got your own band." I said, "I'm quitting the band, and I need a new thing in life. I want to step away from being in a band." And so I took the job. And I thought I'll maybe do it for a few years, and then I'll do something again. But I actually ended up just staying in there. They're like, everyone in that crew and everyone in the band and everyone in there is like old friends of mine and the best people. it was a really nice environment to be in. It was great crack. It was no pressure. There was no hierarchy. There was no bullshit. There was no fucking egos. Everything was just really good, and that's why I'm still there, I guess. You know what I mean? And so
it's lovely to have. It's lovely to be on the road with people that you know. Well, the main thing I always think with, sadly, a lot of musicians is ego, and it's so beautiful to be on the road where everybody looks at each other and goes, we're all the same and we're all in this together. Yep. Crew, band, we're all part of this army that hits the road, and if we don't look after one another, it's a nightmare. And it's a class feeling. I have that with my band as well. You know, it takes a long time. To get those kind of people around you. It's always a credit. I always think it's a credit to the people who organize it, like Frank, or it's not easy to get a crew like that.
Oh, totally. It took a long time. It took the last 8 years to sort of refine the crew and everybody that works at the touring family, essentially. You know what I mean? And there's people that come in and out as well. You know what I mean? That are part of that. But the core crew are, brilliant and just fantastic people. I mean, it's like it's a testament to Frank and what he is trying to achieve. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's great to see it. It really is. It's great to see somebody just hammering at it. He never stops. He's a dog. He's a dirty dog. Frank, if you're listening, what's happening?
Dirty dog.
And it's funny. We kind of have a kind of a weird connection too, because was it Frank's last record or the one? Was it his last record? It was produced by Austin Jenkins.
It is the one before. Be More Kind.
Be More Kind was produced by a guitar player for White Denim. Our prior guitar player for White Denim was his original band, Austin Jenkins. Austin, shout out to you, brother. Austin came over here.
What a lovely dude.
What a boy.
What a talented dude.
What a big, tall, handsome, talented man.
Oh,
Jesus, look at the on legs on him.
Look at the thighs,
look
that
at the
boy.
crease.
Jesus,
look at
somebody
the crease
get me
in his jeans.
Somebody get me some animal fat. Rub them into them thighs there. Look. Jesus, somebody get me Vaseline. Rub them thighs on there, Austin.
Organic Vaseline. Only the organic kind. Non-GMO Vaseline.
Square thighs there, Austin. Shave them thighs down. Shave them down. They're fucking glistening. Beautiful. Beautiful.
But Austin, I talked to Austin and they coming over here to Ireland in this very room. And him and another amazing musician called Brett Dennen, who I have on this podcast now in a few days' time. We're just chatting today. We're trying to get a date this week.
Like he wears
Brett
all
denim.
Or
not
denim.
Dennen. D-E-N-N.
Right. Wouldn't it be great if he was Brett Denim and he just wore like fucking double denim?
He actually does wear a lot of denim. Brett's a fucking sweetheart. He's a good dude, an amazing singer-songwriter, and a father, and a good dad at that. Like yourself, Cahir.
Oh, I'm sure he's an absolute gentleman. I can't wait to meet him someday.
And seeing this actual room, I brought the two of them in here. Austin, I nearly killed Austin a few times having the odd wee drink. I'm not going to lie. He couldn't bark with the big dogs.
Why couldn't he drink?
And I remember we were in this room. Well, we were in this room after the first night, and Brett just kept looking at me going, why did you have to do that? Why did you have to do that? And poor Austin couldn't talk for like 2 days. The first 2 days we were in here, he was over there in the corner just crying. And then I produced a bottle of poaching, cola flavored poaching, in the room, and it just became, for those of you who don't know what poaching is, it's basically Irish moonshine. And we were in here drinking it every day. Like it was coffee, it was just shots of moonshine. It was amazing. And we ended up recording a kick-ass record that I'm in the middle of working right now, which I'm probably going to have a good bit more time to get finished. The way things are going. Totally. So New Pagans, he's just on the tour. He's just recorded a record or an EP, was it, on vinyl? 6 tracks.
Yeah, we did. We it's sort of like it's just kind of like a collection of the singles that we put out over the last few years, with a new song on there as well that we just released too, called Admire. And so it was just really a roundup of all the stuff that we had. And Lindsay's going, bring it in, Lindsay. Yeah, come on. No, she doesn't want to. This is it. Here, Keith. This is it. This is the vinyl.
That's you take it off that crappy blur thing, we could see it.
It's called Glacial Erratic.
I will post a photograph of it when I edit it, don't worry.
It's 6 tracks. They're all brilliant. Uh, all killer, no filler. Basically, yeah. So it's that got released there. You can buy that on online on Big Cartel and also on Bandcamp. But yeah, so we released that EP a couple of weeks back, and we got a small tour. And this is kind of like rounding all the things up, all the songs up that we've done over the last 3 years, so that we can now move forward and actually work on the long player, the album, which we're in the middle of writing at the minute.
Are those 6 tracks going to be on the record, or
No.
a whole new record?
Whole new record, and we have another couple of singles that are going to sort of precede this album. The album will be out next year. We're going to record it this year, but we have a few more.
It's a Bonnie Raitt cover record, isn't it?
It's what?
It's a Bonnie Raitt covers record.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What key?
G.
The whole record's in G.
The whole record's in G. There's just one chord. That's just it.
You just don't stop playing G the whole way through.
The whole way through it. So it starts with G, right? And then kind of halfway through it, we slip into G. And then we do G minor, makes people cry, and then we finish on a G major. So
brilliant.
Hi.
Brilliant.
I mean, there's a lot of hard work going into that.
Thought.
G-force.
Hey,
yo.
Put the wine down. So the next record now, so you're writing this record now. How much have you got written? Any? Or have you just sort of started?
We've got we have sort of like the riff bank where we just loads of ideas. Anybody has ideas, it goes into the riff bank, and then I kind of dip in and we start working on them. But we're sitting with about 5 or 6 ideas at the minute that have made it sort of into round 2 essentially. It starts on Wednesday. I was just over today in my rehearsal space setting it all up today and yesterday, so that we can start on Wednesday to sort of process these new songs.
So normally in the writing process, in the band, there's yourself, your beautiful wife.
Well, I should.
Connor McCauley, our good friend, on drums.
Yeah, Connor, Maniac, who is currently locked in Guantanamo Bay.
Celiac maniac.
He's a celiac.
Celiac.
He's not really though. He's just in Guantanamo Bay. That's all. But so there's Alan as well on guitar, and there's Claire Muskimin on bass, and Lindsay on vocals, and me, Connor, on drums, and me on guitar as well. And so yeah, our writing process, I suppose, is if it's good, it gets through. If it's shite, it gets put in the bin.
It might not.
Put in the bin. Get in.
Who's writing most of the lyrics? Is it Lindsay? Is she singing them, or is other people? Or is he just like a group effort? What way he's write?
The process is I will kind of essentially the band's sort of producer and sort of final say man. You know what I mean? Because you need one in every band, really. But everybody contributes. Lindsay has taken most control of the lyrics. Like she is now really come under her own, and so she is writing a lot of lyrics, and it's great. It's brilliant because she explores loads of new territory that I would have never thought of. I was never really comfortable writing lyrics anyway, but I love editing. Editing's my favorite thing. So music and lyrics, I just sit and go. Well, you know me, you've worked together as well, so you know how I work. But it's a cool process because everybody in the band, it's a wealth of ideas, wealth of talent. You know what I mean? So Connor's a great arranger, Alan's a brilliant writer, Claire's a brilliant writer, and they all come from Lindsay as well, and myself. We all come from different worlds as well, sort of within the sort of indie rock spectrum, but it comes together to give us our own unique sort of blend, I suppose, and it's exciting. And there's new territory to be explored. I mean, we start out, and you could sort of say we sound a lot like sort of early '90s American indie rock bands like Sonic Youth and maybe about a PJ Harvey and Nirvana and that kind of thing. But a punk rock sensibility with like Fugazi and Black Flag, that kind of that DIY ethic. You know what I mean? Fugazi are fucking unbelievable. But so with all that in mind, we've stumbled forward, but we're also big fans of pop music as well. You know what I mean? So it's like
Spice Girls.
Oh, Five.
Blue.
Boyzone.
Take that.
Oh, take the on.
Oh, what's it?
Take your oil. Take your oil.
Bewitched.
Yeah, so we love Bewitched.
Sorry, and if you're listening to any of those bands, we're not slagging you. It's only about a crack.
Yeah, we are.
Nags.
I am.
I'm not.
I am. I'm definitely
I am
slagging
secretively, but I'm not. We're not. I am. No, we're not. Love
You're
these.
You're not.
Actually, man, I went to see my old tour manager, Cleo, is from Germany. Am I right, Cleo? Please don't get me wrong, but Cleo tour managed Take That for a long time, and we went to the Take That show in Dublin about 8 years ago, the one where it was the circus. There was 400 people, something like that. Don't quote me on that, like 350 or 400 people in the crew.
Yeah.
It took them a week and a half to set it up. The crew ended up having to wear, there was so much moving parts in the show that the crew had to wear and dress up like clowns. You'd have loved that. But it was insane. I mean, they had a full size mechanical elephant that was about 50 foot tall with all people inside it, moving it around and carrying it through the audience. They came out in unicycles. Like, it must have taken them a year and a half to curate the show. Hang on. Right. The grand finale of the show, a hot air balloon comes down onto the main stage. They get into the hot air balloon, and the biggest firework display you ever see goes off, and they take off and just go away into the distance. That's the end of the show. I'd never seen nothing like it in all my life. It must have cost. I mean, there was 90,000 people at it. It was Croke Park. The production end of it was bonkers, like absolutely bonkers. But I mean, they have some great pop songs. Take That, obviously not in your taste, but there's some great. Pop songs.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Like, I did say I like pop music, and then we started naming some fucking shit bands. But Take That have written some. They've written some great songs. They have.
But a lot of the show was just them doing like Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis covers.
Yeah, and they do all the big covers and whatever. The funny thing for me is, right, if you're sitting, like all the stuff you just mentioned there now, right, who the fuck gets to fucking walk into the fucking... No, you imagine the big table, they're all sitting there, and they just goes, right, I've got it, lads. The show is going to be this. It's a fucking massive, mad as fuck circus, right? And everybody's like, what the fuck? There's a fucking there's elephants, there's a fucking hot air balloon, right? All the crew are going to dress as fucking clowns, right? They're just going to be rolling about, shit's going to be moving everywhere, there's cages, there's fucking tigers and shit, right? And everybody's just sitting going, fire this bastard immediately, fire him. No, let him finish. And he's just going away, and he's obviously, I don't know how many fucking mountains of drugs he's taken. He's just like, fucking... Let's do elephants, right? We can do an elephant. Can we make a mechanical elephant? Is that a thing we can do? Let's fucking do that, right? Hot air balloon then. Fireworks. Let's shoot the fireworks at the hot air balloon. The band are sitting there, band are like, what the fuck? So we're going to be in the hot air balloon and you want to shoot fireworks off? Don't worry, it'll be safe, it'll be grand. And then it happens. Who the fuck gets to sit? Who's the guy?
Who approves the budget?
Yeah.
Like, what does that cost?
What are you going to need there for that? So for this crazy circus, what's the final budget on it? We're going to need $55 million per night to run the mad circus.
Well, if there's there's 200 crew, and they're all on a Take That tour, they're on at least 1,500 each.
At least it's double bubble like on a pop tour, like.
And that's 1,500 for production assistant, I'm not knocking anybody, but you know what I mean, like people who are assistants as opposed to like a chief tech or lighting people or guitar techs or so. Like, what even in crew alone for one night?
How much is a ticket to see Take That?
I don't know. Probably
it's probably 120 quid, 150 quid. I mean, then there's different tiers of tickets as well. So then there's the meet and greet tickets. I mean, I toured with Blink 182 with Frank a couple of years back, and I mean, these guys were doing meet and greets at the shows for $500 a ticket, and the fucking queue was out the door. And this is before the gig even happened. And then I don't know how much the gig tickets were.
Well, put it like this: if you want to book a party for take that for about 150 people, it's $500,000,
Right,
and that's just in England.
That's him doing like maybe a song or two.
That's probably them doing one song and then doing Sweet Caroline with the crowd.
Left songs later. Thanks everybody. Right, fuck off.
Doesn't really say how much tickets are. I don't know, but I mean they're probably. I mean they'd be.
You're dead. That's what I'm saying. There's different tiers. Different tiers. So you could have anything from lowest bottom would probably be 80, 90 pound. And then you could go anywhere up to thousands, and that's meet and greets and all that shit. You know what I mean? And front row seats. And because make no mistake, whenever Napster and the sort of downloading world started eating the record industry, those fuckers jumped on live, and they jumped on merch, and they jumped on publishing, and they jumped on everything else they could make money.
The thing is though, Napster didn't start eating the record company, start eating the music. Napster was serving the music. All the people ate the music for free. That's the problem. Everybody just took music for free, and now we're in a massive record companies, musicians. Everybody's like, how do we do this now? And they let it go for so long. Like, I actually, now that you're saying that, I seen Sam Smith. I can't remember the venue in LA about, I don't know, 6 years ago. And the cheapest tickets to see him, now there was about 15,000 at the gig, and the cheapest tickets to see Sam Smith was, I think it was $280 a ticket. That was the nosebleeds.
That's what I'm talking about. That's pop world, right? And it's ridiculous. And then you think about, like, look at all the old classic bands like Fleetwood Mac and The Police, and all of those bands have reformed and come back on the road because their record sales were no longer sustaining their lifestyles. You know what I mean? So the only way, like you said earlier, was to make money on this is to actually fucking get on the road again. And you have to put your feuds and your fucking whatever else aside, and you have to, like, take your oil, get back in the van, get on the fucking road.
The thing is, too, like, I don't even think a lot of people out there who aren't like music lovers. You know, you're not going on the road to make money. You're going on the road. It's your job. Like, you're not going out there to make like big bath loads of dollar bills that you go swimming in. It's your job, like everybody else. And it also costs tens of thousands to make a record. I mean, I own a studio. I'm sitting in the studio right now. I still have to pay my engineer every day he walks in. You still have to pay every musician. When
your electric bill, your heating bill.
Dudes, you have to get flights, the heating in this place, the electricity. Yeah. I'm already way over 10 grand on my record, and I'm only halfway done. Yeah. You know, I think that's the mistake. People see charging $20 for an album, but that album cost 20, 30 grand. It's 2 years to do it. Oh, it's 2 years of work, and they're like $20 for this. And you're like, yeah, it's a piece of plastic, but it's what it represents.
Yeah, I mean, you can get. I mean, for us, we wanted the physical. I'm going to fire the vinyl on again because it's.
I can't see
we
it.
wanted.
It's all blurry.
It's just right.
Hold it in front of your face. Your face. You've got the rest of the thing blurred out. Hold it in front of your. Nah, no good.
Here, there it is. You can stick up a thing anyway.
If you send me a free copy,
I'll send you down a free copy. It'll cost you. Lindsay. Oh, here's Lindsay. Lindsay, go on round. Lindsay, come round.
Give me the wine.
Just come round. She's like, give me the wine.
Lindsay, come here.
Wine. Come on.
It's only going to be half an hour.
Just get on, Lindsay. Just come on. Just say hello once.
No.
Lindsay, I'm going to post a photograph of you anyway, so you might as well
just... going to post a photograph of you anyway. Look, see that with your hand. Come on, there's her hand there, look. She hates me. It's great. It's how love works, really. It's isn't it? Come on, give that UFO bag over here. Well, that's only me second glass here.
Lindsay, I'm watching it.
Love songs later. Come on. Go away.
No crack. I was getting ready. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Cahir.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Up the hoods.
Up the fucking hoods.
That was pretty stupid what I just done. I just held that over the top of my desk. That was really stupid. But
That's really stupid because you could have spelled it and ruined it, Keith.
Could have spelled it and ruined it.
Spelled it and ruined it.
So that's we talked about that. You dropped on Fighting with Wire there. Fighting with Wire was the band that you were in for 34 years or something like that.
10 years.
10 years.
10
and
years.
Quite the fucking band too, might I add, Cahir. I never give you enough credit, but that was a kick-ass band. Yourself, Jamie, and Craig, three animals on the stage and off the stage.
No mercy.
And I used to love seeing these live, man. These were a great band. These really were. Because that music, back then, that music really wasn't my scene. That music now is more my scene the older I get. And I used to love it. But that band, you get signed to Atlantic. I met up with these a few times when I was on tour with Celtic Thunder. I met up in Nashville a few times. You got, long story short, you got fired $100 million to do a record. You've recorded it in Blackbird Studios, and it was finished.
A place called Dark Horse Studios. Well, 2 studios in Nashville. But Blackbird is is a really famous studio, you know what I mean? But yeah,
I was actually there in Blackbird with you at one stage.
That's right. That's right.
It's a 6 studio. It's a really nice studio. So then what happened? You finished it.
Well, we finished. It's kind of like the fucking typical story. We finished the record. We spent like 2 years writing it. In the meantime, you kind of put your momentum on hold because you stopped touring. And I kind of went to America and did a lot of sort of writing and lived in Nashville for about a year and a half and flew to LA and New York and stuff and did the whole played the game essentially. Pardon me. But at the end of the day, the record they wanted to change. It's nuts because the label, a major label finds a band, they get excited about it, and they sign you up, and they sort of promise you the world, and then what they try and do immediately is change how you sound, fundamentally how you sound and look, and it's just like. I was like, hold on a minute here. We are 3 fucking arseholes from Derry in Northern Ireland. What the fuck do you think you're going to change us into? You know what I mean? It's like there's not a big sort of window there to move us about. You know what I mean? We weren't a pop band. We were what we were. You know what I mean? We sounded like the Foo Fighters and Nirvana and Jimmy World, and that's what we sounded like. And it was great. It was a great band, and essentially this label wore us down. It's just red tape, bureaucracy. It's just fucking dog shit. I mean, anyone who out there who's in a band and who has had any kind of sniff of that world, you'll know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. And so ultimately, at the end of it, they didn't want to drop the band, but then they didn't want to put out a record, so they're like, we want to find, after spending like $1 million or something on the record, they didn't want to put it out because they said rock was dead, and I was just like, what? It's America.
That's why the Foo Fighters aren't
actually the Foo Fighters just released a new record, and I'm like, but the biggest record in the world right now is a rock record. I don't understand what you're.
Was that produced? The same guy who was producing yours was called who? What's his name again?
Nick Raskulinix, and Nick is a fantastic human, a great producer. He did the Foo Fighters, Alice in Chains, the Deftones. He's just such a super good dude. He was really good to us, and he believed in us, which kind of kept me sane for most of the recording process because I was just dealing directly with the label every day. And we had this management company. I won't name names, but they were fucking shit. They were based in New York, and they were called Indigut, and they were fucking dog shit. They did nothing for us, and we did everything for them. We jumped through all their hoops, and we got fuck all in return. But anyway, that aside, at the end of the day, I wanted out of the deal with Atlantic because fucking they weren't doing anything for us. We were just sitting in limbo, and I was just like, this sucks. I want to go on tour again. I want my old sort of career back. And so then it took me a further year and a half to get out of the deal with Atlantic. It took forever. It was just, by that stage, fighting with wire, any sort of momentum and hype that we had going for us was well and truly stamped out. And I had my fill of it mentally. I was very close to the edge. Losing my mind completely, which is when Frank stepped in and said, "Why don't you come and do this?" And that helped me big time. But ultimately, it was never any animosity between me, Craig, and Jamie. In fact, I love those two fuckers like brothers. And I miss playing with them. You know, I miss fighting with wire.
I'm sure people must have seen these play too.
But it was the right thing to do at that time. You know what I mean? To take a step away from it and just knock it in the head. You know. But I mean, who's to say someday down the line, somewhere, somehow, we play a wee show again? Know what I mean?
We're bringing back the band.
Maybe at my daughter's. Maybe at my daughter's wedding or my son's wedding. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're bringing the band back. We just get up, smash the place. I stage dive off, wreck a whole. There's a great Saturday Night Live sketch where they do that. It's like put the band back together. I think Dave Grohl's in the sketch as well. It's a punk band. They just smash the whole wedding up. But yeah, I mean, so Dad, what are you doing? Stage diving, top off, yeah. But yeah, so
I'm laughing because it could easily happen.
It could very easily happen.
Big Craigo just had to go home yesterday. Craig was here in Derry City, and Craig's now making these amazing snare drums called Ava Drums, named after his daughter.
Amazing.
And I was in his house for 3 days, locked down in his basement there when I was in Canada, having the odd wee beer and smashing stuff and battering drums, and the crack was good. And he let me play his snare, and I actually bought the very first one that he made. I was like, this is amazing. So I think I've got serial number 1 of Ava snares. But he brought it over here, man, and then I couldn't even go get it off him. It just doesn't make sense to hang out with each other and go get it. And he just had they were here for 4 weeks in Ireland, and he just had to cut his show short, or cut his holiday short, and I'm sure they haven't been here in a year or two. When was the last time?
It's been a while, and I was chatting to him the other day, actually, and, you know, it's pretty nightmare scenario because he wanted to get down and see, you know, me and Lindsay. He's never met my kids. You know what I mean? And
Craig never met the kids.
No, and he wanted to meet Charlene's kids as well. Charlene just had 2 wee babies as well. Charlene is she's our manager. She manages New Pagans, but she tour manages Fight with Wire, and she's like a sister to me. And she's also like the devil.
Charlene, if you're listening to this here, don't listen to me.
AKA Marlene Haggerty.
If you have to be, I don't know how you do it, going on tour with this whore on a daily basis, having to listen to his wowies on a daily basis, crying down the phone. This isn't good enough. This isn't warm enough. The cheese is round. The ham's square.
If you want to know who Marlene Haggerty is, watch the Fighting with Wire tour diaries. That's all I'm saying.
They actually used to be pretty funny, I have to admit. My favorite one of the whole lot was the Cutty Shark. That was a cracker. Cutty Shark was a beaut. Dracula's Castle was another peach. If you're listening, follow the old Fighting with Wire videos. Dracula's Castle.
There's an old Fighting Wire TV, and there's a few videos on that there. And if you just want to go and sort of sync up with that in the old interwebs, go on ahead now and treat yourselves to a bit of fun. Now, don't be expecting like the sun, the moon, and the stars. And the stars, just expect maybe the sun or the moon or the stars
shooting each other,
but not together.
Yes, not together. So Grego had to go home because of the whole COVID-19, which brings us to the dun 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 dun. The apocalypse is now.
The virus.
Like
the virus.
The apocalypse really is now. What is going on right now? I know we dropped on there at the start and just says we had to cut our tours short. I don't want to bring this whole thing into the virus. But the virus right now is an absolute nightmare. And I went a drive. We have now been locked down in the house since Saturday. So it's This is day number 8 for us. And I went for a drive yesterday. When I say lockdown, we just haven't left the house. You know, you can leave your house, but if you've any sense, you don't leave your house. And we drove to Kildare, which is a wee beach down the road, and pulled up and cooked some food in the back of the truck. Tailgating, so American of me. But it blew me mind, Cahir, to the point the amount of people hanging out and walking with each other, and Wayne's hanging out and playing with each other, who are definitely not brothers and sisters, who are definitely not all living in the same house.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean Wayne's playing with each other?
Not anything dirty or nasty. I mean Wayne's out in the park.
Oh, just out playing, right?
Playing. Out, Jesus. Playing out in the park. Oh, bless yourself. Bless yourself. You'll go up in flames one of these days, you.
Burnt day, Chris.
But, like, you know what I mean, man? It's just like everything that's on the television right now, and obviously none of us believe the TV, but I have been listening to certain podcasts and different news avenues that I do believe, and, you know, by listening to what they're saying too, it's Fox, CNN.
Fox and CNN. Two very...
I bet you people in Ireland think C and N is C and N.
CNN.
CNN. Not
CNN.
CNN. It's CNN.
See at CNN.
See at CNN.
See at CNN. What?
See at there CNN.
See at there CNN.
At there CNN. N.
Fox and CNN. Two of them should be burnt to a fucking crisp. Anybody that believes anything either one of those fuckers says needs to be. You need to have a look at your life. Seriously.
But you can say the same thing about every BBC.
Of course, everybody is biased. You've got to bounce on. I mean, there's decent people. There's not. I was going to say there's good people at Fox. There isn't really. I mean, your man Shep was all right, but he's gone now. I mean, Fox is an absolute disgrace. They're the bottom of the barrel, really. CNN are close second. I mean, MSNBC. They've all got their allegiances. You know, the BBC had an argument with a good friend of mine recently about BBC. I was just like, they're totally biased. You know what I mean? And he's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. And then, you know, I pulled out this data about, you know, how many people they had on at question times, and you know, they represent a sort of balanced proportion of the population, and it was always right wingers that always had the most people on there. Of course, it's a you know, totally Tory influenced fucking. I mean, people are going, "You're full of shit," and I just go, "You're full of fucking shit." You know what I mean? It's like this is the thing on Twitter. It's worse. At least I'm saying it to your faces. It's fucking all biased. What you got to do
people on Twitter are all full of shit too, because the same people on Twitter, if they were sitting in this room with me right now, they'd be as quiet as a field mouse.
Exactly. So you've got to extrapolate from all the different news sources that you deem worthy, and you've got to extrapolate from those, and you've got to come to your own conclusions. You can't just verbatim quote people like fucking Judge Janine at Fox News, who is a complete psychopath and a total moron of the highest order, a fearmonger. You know what I mean? It's just like these people like, Donald Trump is like you king of the earth. And no, it's just like people are mental. It just, yes. You know, they don't question. I think
it's kind of funny though how this virus has all come in at the same time that all the elections were happening in America. It came in exactly after Brexit was brought on. Brexit that I was sick to death hearing Brexit. And now that the virus has come in, you don't hear of anything political ever here now. Everybody's hugging each other going, we all need to sort this out as a team. There's another cracker. Who's another peach? What do you call him? I don't even, his name just left my mind there now. Are you getting told to go in the living room? Get in here now. Get in here now.
Oh, Lindsay's saying don't drink all the wine. There's plenty left.
There's a half a bottle in that.
There's plenty left, Lindsay. Come on, have a wee drink.
Because you've had enough.
Oh, I've had enough, Keith. I've had enough.
Ooh.
Come on now, here. Have a wee drink. No.
Yes.
You can't take it off me. Lindsay, come on, don't take it off me. Really? You take that off me.
Change the subject. No more.
But I can't.
American politics.
Took it off me.
As we say in Derry, take your oil.
Aren't they a fucking crisp?
You probably have a full glass there, do you?
Oh, we half a classic.
You're all right, sure.
I'm grand.
You'll be in your bed after that anyway, so you will. So Boris Johnson.
What, Beaker from the Muppets?
Boris Johnson right now, for those of you in the rest of the world who doesn't know what's going on with this virus, he's basically pulled on this thing called the herd mentality. And what that means is everything in Britain is going to keep going on the way it's going during this virus. But basically saying that the weak will die. So if you're in a herd and you're a herd of antelopes getting chased by lions, the young or the old or the tired ones at the back get eaten first and everybody else lives. And that's basically what Britain are doing right now. The last thing I seen, he says the death toll can be up around 25,000 at the worst case. 25,000 people dead.
I can do a good Tiger impression, if you want to hear it.
100%.
It's just because you said lion there now, and I just thought I can do a good Tiger impression.
I'd love to hear it.
Are you ready for it? Right. Wow.
It sounds like you have a dose of COVID-19.
Hold on. Wow.
You might need more wine. Try more gargle some wine.
I have to say, I used to be better at it. It's fucking gone. It's gone now. Anyway, continue.
I'll edit that out.
Right. Edit that out.
I'm not editing that out. Man, so we've basically touched on everything. I don't really want to talk to you about anything else. What else can we talk about?
Well, we could talk about loads of shit. But
all right, then let's keep talking.
Oh, but it's like, you know that it's just going to fucking devolve into complete madness. And then, I mean, I'm getting more and more tipsy. The ruby lips on me, and soon the Blacktooth the Pirate will be out. And
so you're living now. Let's just say, so you're living in Belfast right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so Belfast is technically on paper UK, Britain, but everybody who lives in Ireland just calls it Ireland. Belfast is in Ireland. But right now, you know, with everything that's happening with this virus, Belfast and Northern Ireland, I was thinking about it the other day. So the Republic of Ireland's in complete lockdown. Northern Ireland, on their own behalf, has closed their restaurants and closed. Is there still any bars and restaurants open around your way? Or are they all shut?
No, everything's shut. It's like a ghost town.
So with everything shut, that means basically Boris Johnson, are they going to pay people's rents? What way is that coming around? I haven't really been following that end of it.
The rent thing is kind of, I don't know. I haven't looked at the rent thing. I mean, they're going to pay 80% of people's wages. If you're self-employed, they're going to pay 80%. So you have to apply for universal credit. And so you have to phone up, and then you do an interview over the phone, and then they determine how much you get, whatever. If you have savings over $6,000, you're not eligible. So I don't know. They expect you to live on that, I suppose. It's kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked. Businesses are getting a bailout. They're you don't have to pay for tax. You don't have to do your tax, your second payment this year. There's a few things, but I mean, as it stands, I mean, it's 3 months we're looking at for this fucking lockdown.
I honestly can't see this being done anywhere near. I hate to say that. I don't understand how it can be done.
No, I mean, they're saying 8 weeks. They're saying 8 weeks. I would imagine it will be longer. I would say it might be December before anything starts moving again. That's just my prediction. December.
It's really sad, man. It's sad for so many people. You know, I'm lucky. I live in the countryside. But you know, you with the 2 kids in the city, it must be tough.
It's tough. I mean, we live across the street from a park, so we can. I mean, we took the kids out and you walk around the park, social distancing. You know what I mean? You got to keep your distance from people. But I mean, you know, looking at the stats, there's 108 cases in Northern Ireland of the coronavirus. 108, which is relatively small. And now, if people
108 known cases,
yeah, yes. So if people are smart now and they stay, you know, in their homes and they don't go out and they fucking don't mingle, go to the beaches and fucking kiss one another. We're looking at, this could be gone in 2 to 3 months in Northern Ireland. I mean, flights have stopped. Yes, you know what I mean. It's like,
Are there any? It's just UK. You can fly to the UK. You can fly to London.
So you can still fly in and out of Belfast. So I mean, I don't know. People are quarantined. I don't know. If people stay in and are smart about this, then Northern Ireland should be coronavirus free, essentially.
I haven't even looked. I mean, I'd be honest with you, the last few days I've turned off because my head was fried watching it on the news. Melted. There's so many numbers and facts and percentages and what can happen and what mightn't happen, and everybody's giving you different facts and figures to the point your head's boiling over like a pot of spuds. So I turned off the last few days, and I'm not really sure what it even is in the south either. I do know that I'm pretty sure there's some in Buncrana, believe it or not, here.
Right. There's a few cases in Donegal. But
Which is crazy, because like if anywhere in Ireland, you would want to be here in Donegal, I would presume. Like we must be the least populated part of all of Ireland. We haven't even got Wi-Fi. Right now, we're streaming this show through satellite internet. I have got satellite internet in our studio.
No, it's like... It's mental. It's serious. I mean, it's like a proper pandemic. It is what it, and if you look at 100 years ago, so the last sort of major pandemic that we had that fucking wiped out a lot of the 500 million people was the Spanish flu, and that was in 1918.
2 years after World War One.
And so, and basically, the weird thing about that, it's nuts that it's like 100 years later as the second pandemic. You know what I mean? It's another weird, I'm sure, conspiracy theorists could have a fucking field day on that. We're trying to get them, but the Earth is telling us something. But that pandemic was particularly deadly because usually the flu targets older people, vulnerable people. That particular strain of flu targeted if you were between 20 and 40, you were the most vulnerable. It killed 500 million people. It's fucking insane. That was only 100 years ago.
And what's sad about it is I think that people in this day and age, they live in this Instagram world where everything looks perfect. And they can't seem to realize that the shit can hit the fan right now. All the technology we have right now is absolutely null and void to actually stop this thing. We can send people to the moon right now. Richard Branson has got a plane that you can take a trip out into the orbit and look at Earth. But you know what? Nobody has got a wee injection or a pill that can stop this tiny couple of cells that comes into your body. So everything that we have ever invented in the world right now is absolute nonsense. Apart from the fact what people have in their benefit right now is years and years and years of surveys on investigations into these viruses and working out how they wouldn't have had that information back in the day. Nowadays, they have way more information. That's what we do have in our favor right now.
Well, totally. I mean, you've got a thing. They're using AI now for a lot of stuff, right? And they're using AI to discover new cures for diseases and stuff. And they're actually working. We built computers that powerful that they're like fucking mega brains. And so they've asked the AI to come up with a way to combat coronavirus. And so it has listed out a whole heap of chemicals that can help stop this. So this is how, like 100 years ago, Spanish flu just fucking ate everybody. Our medical practices back then were fucking shite. 100 years later, we've advanced so much that we have artificial intelligence that we have created that are way smarter than us. Building nanotechnology, building things that can go under your skin and fight at the cellular level. You know what I mean? It's like we are on the cusp of like a major shift. And so asking AI to fucking find a cure for the coronavirus is insane. It's nuts, but it's happening. And that's where they're going. You know what I mean? It's like these
hopefully it happens a lot quicker. Have you ever heard of a thing called, what's it called? Billy McMenamum, if you're listening to this at some stage, there is a thing called what's it called? Oh, something oil, gruel oil, or grudge oil or grunge oil or something. Basically, this is how it works. So the oil that everything's cooked in China is made up of 10% of this other oil. I didn't know it existed. I looked it up. It's on Wikipedia, which means it must be true. Basically,
Wiki.
a wiki. People basically go round open sewers. The footage is there. I've seen people doing it. They open sewers, scoop out whatever is in the sewer, treat whatever is in the sewer, shit,
I've heard of
piss,
this.
dishwater, whatever comes out of your house, boils it, treats it, and whatever fat floats to the top, they then mix that with animal fat, and that is the fat that everybody seems to be. Apparently, it makes up 10% of cooking oil in China.
That's fucking disgusting.
People is frying their food in human shite.
People have been frying food in human. Have you ever been to Frankie Ramsey's? People have been frying
Big
food
rubber nuts.
in human shite for as long as I can remember back.
Hey, that's what's it called? I'll find out what that is and share that link. It's absolutely stinking. Absolutely stinking. And this woman's talking about how she created her business. And then I seen a video this week too of they're boiling dogs 100% alive. Like they don't even kill the poor dogs before they eat them, and they're boiling the dogs. I mean, I have nothing against Chinese people, nothing at all. And I understand I am a person who doesn't eat meat. I only eat meat if I kill it myself, which hasn't been in a long time right now. I eat some fish. I have no problem with killing food. I have no problem with killing an animal. But the thing is, they boil things alive. You know what I mean? They're the way they seem to treat the animals in China and their food. Have you seen anything with that market? Have you seen any footage of that market?
No.
In Wuhan, where this virus actually came from?
Well, they reckon ultimately they reckon it came from bats. It came from they discovered the actual cave years ago, when they actually discovered the virus years ago, but they didn't fucking think it was going to...
I haven't heard that. So what's that?
So it's basically in China, they study all these viruses in fucking China. There was a cave full of bats and the bat shit and all that there crack. And so this scientist found it, like coronavirus, among many other viruses, like years ago.
Gutter oil. That's
gutter oil. That makes sense.
Reprocessing of used cooking oil is often very filtration, boiling, refining, and removal of some adulterants. Jesus. Wait.
So basically, it came from bats, and I don't know. It's just fucking crossed over. I mean, because they eat bats, they eat everything in China. Like they fucking, if it moves, they'll eat it. Like so.
It's a weird. I get it. Like I understand. Like I think people here are weird. They'll go out and murder a big beautiful cow, but they're like a dog. Jesus, no. No,
exactly. Yeah.
A deer? No, I couldn't eat deer. No, I couldn't eat deer. But you'll eat a pig, a poor pig that was rammed into a cage its whole life. Like
exactly.
Our eating mentality here too is absolutely messed. Everybody across the board, we don't treat food how it should be treated. But out there, man, it just seems to be next level. It's absolutely shocking in that market in Wuhan, where they reckon it came from. In China. It's from China.
China.
Well, so now that the virus has got a hold of you and everybody else,
I thought I had it last week.
Why?
I swear to fuck, I get back off tour. I was in this nightclub in Bath where Frank was doing like a DJ set, and I swear to God, I've never been in a more mold-ridden, nightmarish tunnel fucking vibe. I walked in and it was like, there was like maybe 500 sweaty fucking youths, is the only way I can describe it.
did you just go in and lick a toilet straight away or what happened?
It was fucking gross, right? And I was in there, I was like, why are we here, Frank? So, and I was just like, this as fuck. There was mold in the ceiling. It was like underground. It was like an old tunnel. It was in Bath, in the UK, and I just thought, if the fucking virus is in here, we've all got it. That's it. You know what I mean? If it's in here, every fucking one of us have it. We all have it. He has it. She has it. I have it. You have it. We all have it. We are now fucking coronavirus spreaders, right? And I'll let anyway, he did a DJ set and we get the fuck out of there. But then when I came back off the tour, we cancelled the tour a few days later. I got back off the tour. I got home. I felt really fucking shit on the Monday, and I got back and I had a fucking dry cough. I was like, oh Jesus, symptom number one. I had fucking weakness. I was all lethargic. I was like really fucked. I was like, oh, I had anxiety. I was like, oh dear Jesus, my chest felt tight. I was like, oh, it goes after the lungs, this shit. Fuck. The only thing I didn't have was a fever. Didn't have a fever. I felt terrible.
It was just probably tour come down. That happens to everybody when they go on.
I know. And actually,
your body just goes on the shutdown. I mean, I'm the same too.
It hit me for about 4 days, and I feel fucking absolutely great today. Like, I mean, drinking the wine, everything's good. I mean, the lips are pure ruby.
I got to wrap this up because I have to go do a sound check for my online stage show. What's happening next? So, new Pagans. Let's plug some shit. You are writing a new record. You have a record out. It's called
Glacial Erratic.
And you can get it
on Bandcamp and on Big Cartel. You can basically check out our Facebook page and our Instagram and all that crack, all the details for that.
I'll post all that stuff with this link. So have you any gigs? Obviously, you don't know. You're the same as everybody.
Well, we're going to announce something very soon, hopefully.
Are you doing an online show?
Maybe.
Lethal? Amazing.
We're going to try and do it. We're going to. We've invited a few of our favorite Belfast bands to come and do it with us, live from our rehearsal room. But we'll have to make sure we can actually do it. You know what I mean? But yes, hopefully that announcement will come soon. So jump on our socials, follow us on Twitter and Facebook, blah blah blah, all the rest for updates. But yeah, we can't just sit here. You know what I mean? I mean, we are writing and we are trying to get this new album moving forward, but also at the same time, it's like we need to play. And now we've never tried an online show before, and so
I can help you out. Give me a shout.
I know you're familiar with it, and you do quite a lot of them, and you know the crack. It just means that people around the world, like we have fans in South America and New Zealand and Australia and Japan, and they've never seen the band. They can just check out clips on YouTube, I suppose, that people post, but it gives them an opportunity to see us, and so it's a new world. This virus has created a new world, and so let's see if we can make it happen. But yeah, jump on.
No, man, it's the way to go. I mean, it's kind of funny how everybody's just doing it now too. I've been doing them for years. They're an amazing thing. You know, it's such an awesome thing. Now I'm going to do an online show. And you get to make so many people happy. People pay $10. What's that?
How bombed are you? 1 to 10, like?
Not enough. I've only had 14, 13. I've had 3.
I've only had 13. 13? I'm fucking, 13. I mean, I've had, 3 or 4 glasses of wine. I'm fucked.
I still have to sound check now. That takes a half hour, and then I have to do my show at 11. But they are, just so you know, they're an amazing thing. People they pay what they want. If you can do them free or whatever. Right. I don't want free on Tuesday night. I'm doing this one is a $10, $12 ticket. It's nothing. You know, you get to play for an hour. And the thing is, it's not just you getting to watch it. You're buying a ticket that literally you and your whole family can sit in the living room and watch. So 10 people could watch it for 10. It's like $1 a head. It's nothing. You know, they're an amazing thing, and it's great. And what you do is as well, you can give top tippers. So like people can tip. And you write on your thing, you know, the people who give the best tip, you get a free signed shirt. You get I do Skype calls.
Oh, really? You can do stuff like that. All right. So I didn't know that.
You gift people as well. So the people who get, like the one I just done on Tuesday night, on St. Paddy's night, I done a paid show and then I done a free show afterwards for everybody who wanted to watch it. And on the paid show for a top tipper, I told them I'd dedicate a song to them, record it, and post it on Facebook and post it on Instagram. You know, it's a shout out.
Oh, I've seen you doing that through the week.
Yeah. And then second top tipper gets a Skype call with me for 15 minutes. Third top tipper gets, I think it was shout-outs on Instagram. And then you can do anything. You can do simple things like I do signed lyrics and stuff like that. You know, it's an amazing thing. And I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed.
Do things like
all the Harkin Army who are listening right now, I love you all. Thank you very much. And this is going to be, by the way,
you do things like, you know, booting the balls, top tipper, booting the balls, slapping the face with a £5 note,
£5 note,
sent the coronavirus in the post, you know, things like that there. Just saying.
I'll not be a top tipper at your show.
Wouldn't that be good though if you stuck that on? Because I think people would tip for that shit.
This is getting crazy. I have to go. Do a thing. I'm going to do an online show. Cheryl Doherty, New Pagans. Lindsay, I know you're somehow listening. Thank you for letting me steal.
She hates the two of us. You know this.
She doesn't. She hates you way more than she hates me.
She does. She hates me way more than she hates you.
I love you, Cahir. Thank you very much, my friend. This will be one of the first episodes on my Patreon page that I am working on this week. Please, everybody, if you're listening to this, it's only a bit of crack. We are having a laugh. We are trying to say stupid shit to entertain you. We are not politicians. We are not mathematicians. We can't even count, for God's sake.
We're silly as fuck.
We're having a laugh. This is only to entertain people. All parts of this you won't like. Maybe you'll like all of it. Maybe you'll like some of it. It's only to try and put a smile on people's faces, and I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in later, people.
Also, just let me say this before we go. We need to do one with all the Derry Hears.
Oh, Jesus.
So that would mean like a call and like a multi-Skype thing, which we'll organise. I think it should be your last show, to be honest.
It would be your last show.
It really would be your last one. Know what I mean?
Well, there isn't going to be a last one. This is going to be an ongoing thing now.
Right, okay, then it needs to be maybe in the next few weeks.
I will organise it. Let's organise it. We will get the Derry brutes.
And we just drop topics. We just drop topics on. Know what I mean? And for that one, it probably need to be an 18. Like.
Here, I'll tell you what. This is what we'll do. We all get to pick 2 topics each. I put them into a hat, and I pull them out of the hat, and that's where we go.
That's fucking great. I'm into that.
I'm into that.
I'm on that there. I'm on that there. I'm on that.
Cheryl Doherty, happy Mother's Day. I'm just going to. This is the first time I've done this. I am just going to click stop recording. Where is my mouse? There it is there. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Listen to Keith Harkin podcast. This is Cahir Doherty from New Pagans, Snorkel and Wine with Big Red Lips. Saying I love your way and I see you all later. Bye-bye.
Later.